What's going on, housemates? Marcelo here. I hope you are all doing well wherever you're watching this video from around the world. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications. I'm recording this video a couple of days after our incredible, marvelous, magical, dreamy 5-1 win against Manchester City at the Emirates. Some of you may have seen my delirious full-time review after the game, and those emotions are still riding high. It's one of the best games I've witnessed in my lifetime as an Arsenal fan, And I think that's more so the case in part because, I started supporting in 2009. So I haven't seen us win the Prem or, the Prem. So, but still, I think for older fans as well, given, how Manchester City sort of appeared out of thin air in 2008 and, sort of fabricated their way to an incredible past 15 years or so. It hits different, especially because they've humiliated us so many times. And of course, the last couple seasons coming so close, but not getting across the line. There are just so many layers as to why that win meant so much for us. And so in this video, I'm not really going to spend much time talking about it, other than what I just have. I just want to say again, how special it was, of course, for Ethan Nwaneri and Miles Lewis-Skelly to get on the score sheet. Miles Lewis-Skelly, especially, of course, after the yellow card before his league debut, Michael Oliver giving it to him, and then the red card Oliver gave him the week before, which then got rescinded, so he was able to play in the game, and then he was man of the match, doing the Haaland celebration when he scored after Haaland asked him, "Who the fuck are you?" in the first game. Just so many layers to it. And then Ethan Nwaneri scoring the fifth goal in what was the longest build-up to a goal in the Premier League in 2 years. A beautiful team goal. So finally, Jack Wilshere was in attendance, and I made a post yesterday on Instagram about how much those two performances made me think of Jack Wilshere because, he was the first academy graduate of the Emirates era to break through. And he had the potential to be one of the best midfielders in the world. He was on the same level as Ethan Nwaneri and Miles Lewis-Skelly at his age, if not better. You think obviously to the Barcelona game, he was a little older. But anyways, he wasn't able to fulfill his potential because of his injury record. And he had to retire so early. And so, for me, seeing Lewis-Skelly and Nwaneri do what they did was the revival of Wilshere's legacy, because we have to remember Wilshere coached Lewis-Skelly and Nwaneri for the U18 side up until pretty recently, last year. So, Wilshere has a huge blueprint or fingerprint on those two kids becoming the stars that they are or are becoming. We don't want to put too much pressure on them, right? But really special for me. And Wilshere was in attendance at the game. So just a beautiful moment on so many levels, man. So yeah, I'm going to, I really mean it when I say, that to me is my trophy of the season. And I know that might be crazy to say to some of you. Obviously, I would rather win a trophy this season than beat Man City 5-1. Don't get it twisted. But both because of how difficult it's looking this season for us to win a trophy and the context of it being Manchester City, and the academy guys, right? All of those factors, it's just such a beautiful moment. And so, it just brings me so much joy, man. You saw the unfiltered joy in the full-time review. But anyways, enough about that, right? As much as I want to go on and on about that game. Oh, last one. It was the first time Pep Guardiola has ever conceded 5 goals while also losing by a margin of 4 goals. So Mikel Arteta, man, really, really giving his mentor a lesson. Just so incredible. Anyways, moving on to tomorrow, right? No time to dwell. We have the Carabao Cup semifinal, second leg at St. James's Park against Newcastle. Now, I'm going to be so honest with you. I don't feel so confident that we're going to, win by 3 goals. We can take it to extra time, right? As long as we can score a couple goals. Sorry, I should have done my research before, but I'm not sure if it's going to go straight to pens or if it would go to extra time. So one of you will know, and I'll try to look it up after. But anyways, right? Now, Newcastle has lost their last two home games. They lost to Bournemouth comprehensively. They got battered at home by Bournemouth. Bournemouth, of course, is one of the better teams in the Premier League right now. And then they lost at home to Fulham 2-1. So, in terms of momentum, in terms of form, things are looking in our favor, right? We just beat Man City 5-1, and we'll be full of confidence, so much confidence after that. And so I don't want to sound like too much of a pessimist, because I'm not. I'm generally an optimistic guy, but I'm trying to be realistic at the same time, right? League form often goes out the window when you're talking about, a cup game. And I think the added context is important in that Newcastle hasn't won a trophy in, I think, 70 years, so between 60 and 70 years. And so they'll be very hungry for another final, right? They got to the final where they lost to United a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. And Reese, didn't they got to a semifinal at least like last season? Yeah, last season. I think they got to a semifinal against United again. So, they're going to be desperate for silverware, and we should be saying the same, but it is different. And I think that St. James's Park has proven to be a really difficult place for us to go in the last few years in particular. So, anything's possible, and a 2 goal deficit is far from, crazy. And, the mood around the club is so different tonight, compared to where it was after Newcastle beat us 2-0. And it's a game that we should have won, right? Or should have at least had a couple goals from. So, yeah, I've sort of talked myself into feeling more optimistic about this game than I was when I started recording, which is really funny. But, I'm still being cautious about it. I'm not overly confident by any means. So, going into my starting 11, I think it picks itself, right? If we want to have any chance of winning silverware, or if we want to maximize our chances of winning silverware this season, I think we have to do it. And so remember as well, we have a break after tomorrow. I forgot. We have a break because we finished in the top 8 of the Champions League. So we have to play our strongest side tomorrow anyways. And that looks like, to me, Raya in goal, obviously. Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Thomas Partey, Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard, Gabriel Martinelli, Kai Havertz, and I'm going to stick with Leandro Trossard. He looked really sharp again against Man City, it has to be said. Now, I would love to start Nwaneri. I'm so tempted to go with Nwaneri, man. I think I just have to go with Nwaneri because of how much I love him. And I know that's biased and maybe that's slightly irresponsible of me. But I just trust his ability to make a difference so much. And I'm just biased because he's my favorite player after Saka, man. So even though objectively it's probably not the right thing to do, I'm going to go with Nwaneri. And that's no disrespect to Trossard, man. I got so much love for the guy. But yeah, that's the starting 11 I've gone with. It's the exact same 11 I went with against Man City. So yeah, not too much to talk about there. But anyways, yeah, I hope that you are all feeling cautiously optimistic or very optimistic for the game tomorrow. You have plenty of reason to be, I guess, given how well we did on Sunday. And, I'll be with you tomorrow after the game to give you my thoughts on it. So however the game goes tomorrow, all we can do is back the team. I didn't even mention the fact that we didn't sign anyone in January. I'm not really going to spend much time talking about it, but it's deeply disappointing. At the same time, I'm not surprised at all. And it just kind of leaves us with no choice but to fully back the manager and these players between now and May and enjoy the journey, right? It also means that we have no choice but to have a blockbuster summer, right? We have to go big this summer. I'm talking Zubamendi, Sesko, a winger, whether that's Nico Williams or Mbeumo or, there are options. And we have to be proactive. We have to be fast this time around. No messing about. We need a full preseason for these guys. No more beating around the bush. There's no summer tournament to slow things up. None of the international duty, drama, excuses, all that jazz, right? We got to be quick with it. So we'll see what happens. But, anyways, I'm going to leave it there, folks. Thank you as always for watching. I hope you're enjoying your week after what was just such a special Sunday. And I'll be back tomorrow. So, as always, come on, you Gunners. Peace.